Sometimes the biggest stories aren't in the big, splashy headlines. They're hidden in the details. Today, we're going to tear apart a single job posting from Amazon for something called a catalog specialist. Now, I know, it doesn't sound super exciting, but trust me, it is a fascinating peek behind the curtain at the future of work, how AI actually works, and this massive corporate push for sustainability. Okay, let's get into it. So here's how we're going to break this down. We're going to do this in 5 parts. First, we'll look at the why. The big ambitious mission that this job is a part of. Then, we'll dive into the how, the tech that makes it all possible. After that, the what the person in this role actually does all day. Then we'll decode the who, the kind of person they're looking for. And finally, we'll tie it all together to see why this one job posting is actually a pretty big deal.
All right, first things first, let's talk about the big picture here. This isn't just some random job to organize a product catalog. No, this role is part of a much, much bigger vision at Amazon. Check out this line, pulled straight from the job description. The team this person would join is the Worldwide Returns, Recommerce, and Sustainability Group, and their mission is to make zero happen. That means zero cost of returns, zero waste, and zero defects. That is an incredibly bold goal. They're trying to perfect a part of e-commerce that, let's be honest, is a huge headache for everyone, customers, the company, and for sure the planet.
And then they hit you with this line, which I think is just brilliant. The posting says that for this team, the Earth is our customer too. So this makes it crystal clear. It's not just about pinching pennies on returns. It's about fundamentally rethinking the process to reduce waste. This really sets the stage for everything else.
Okay, so you've got this massive, world-changing mission. How on earth do you even start to tackle it? Well, that brings us to the tech at the very heart of this whole operation, the machine learning engine.
First, let's get on the same page with a key term here, recommerce. Basically, it's the whole business of giving returned or damaged products a second chance at life. So instead of just getting thrown into a landfill, these items can be resold as used, open box, or rental items. But imagine managing the logistics for millions and millions of unique items coming back. It's a total nightmare. So how do you deal with that kind of scale? You can't just throw more people at the problem, right? It's just too big, too complicated. The answer, as this job post shows, is that you teach a machine to help you out. And this is exactly where AI and machine learning enter the picture. Now, building a machine learning model isn't magic. It's a process. First, you identify a problem, like how do we accurately grade the condition of a returned phone? Then you collect a ton of data, pictures, product descriptions, you name it. And then you get to the most important part, step 3. A human has to annotate all that data. They have to label it, categorize it, and basically teach the machine what it's looking at. And that right there, that's what the catalog specialist does. So this brings us right to the core of the job. We talk so much about AI and automation, but this role is the perfect example of the critical, absolutely essential human element that makes it all work. This is the what of the job. And if you look at the day-to-day responsibilities, you can see it's not just boring, repetitive work. Yes, the main gig is data annotation, but this person also works with data scientists, they're the guardian of data quality, they collaborate with a bunch of different teams, and they're even expected to help make the whole process better. They are literally the quality control for the AI's entire education. So you can think of it like this. It's a partnership. The machine brings the raw power, the speed and scale to process millions of items, but the human brings the nuance, the context, the ability to see the subtle difference between like new and very good that a machine would totally miss. One cannot work without the other. This job lives in that crucial space between them. Okay, so we've got the why, the how, and the what. Let's talk about the who. What kind of person is Amazon looking for to fill this role that sits right at the intersection of e-commerce, sustainability, and cutting-edge AI? So, as I was reading through the job post, I found this quirky little detail that I just thought was fascinating. In the main description, it says they need someone with language proficiency in German. But then, when you scroll down to the basic qualifications, it clearly says they need someone who is fluent in Spanish. So, is that a typo? Maybe. But I think it's probably something way more interesting. It's a reflection of just how global and complex this data is. The AI has to learn from product info and customer returns from all over the world, which means the team of humans teaching it has to be multilingual too. And when you look at the full list of qualifications, a really clear picture starts to form.
They want someone with a degree and those language skills, of course. But they also want at least a year of real experience in data annotation. And check out the preferred qualifications: experience with MTurk, which is Amazon's own platform for these kinds of tasks, familiarity with annotation tools, even some exposure to machine learning concepts. This is not your average data entry job. It's a specialized gig for someone who knows how to be a really good teacher for an AI.
All right, let's zoom all the way back out. We've just spent all this time deconstructing one single job posting. So what? Why does this one role for a catalog specialist actually matter in the big picture?
Because this one job tells a much, much bigger story about where our economy is headed. It's like a perfect little case study, where several massive trends are all converging in one single role. So here's what it shows us. First, we're seeing this explosion of what you could call AI support jobs, roles that exist to train, guide, and double-check automated systems. Second, it proves that hitting these big sustainability goals isn't just a marketing slogan, it takes a massive, data-heavy effort behind the scenes. Third, and this is maybe the most important takeaway, it shows that even the most advanced AI is still completely dependent on smart, skilled humans. And finally, it's a reminder that in our global world, language skills are still incredibly valuable, even in super techie fields.
So, I'll just leave you with this question to think about. As AI gets woven into every part of our lives, from sorting our packages to driving our cars, are the people who label the data, the ones who teach the machines, becoming the new essential workers of the AI economy? They're this invisible but absolutely critical workforce. It's definitely something to chew on.